In the heart of West Africa, a powerful shift is underway. The Alliance of Sahel States, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, have risen not only against terrorism, but against decades of foreign control and regional interference. Now they are challenging the power of ECOWAS and Nigeria itself, exposing what many believe to be a hidden agenda, one that could reignite conflict across the region. But what if this time, Africa is fighting back? Nigerian President Bola Tinubu received approval to deploy troops into Benin Republic, allegedly to help stabilize the country after a failed coup attempt.
The Senate President requests for the consent of the Senate for the deployment of Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin for peace mission. Pursuant to Section 5, Subsection 5, Part 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, I seek further to consultation with the National Defense Council, the consent of the Senate for the deployment of Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin. This request is made further to a request received from the government of Benin Republic for the exceptional and immediate provision of air support by the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The distinguished Senate may wish to note that the government of the Republic of Benin is currently faced with an attempted unconstitutional seizure of power and disruption and destabilization of democratic institutions. The situation, as reported by the government of Benin, requires urgent external intervention. The Swiss Senate, considering the close ties of brotherhood and friendship which exist between Nigeria and the Republic of Benin, as well as the principles of collective security upheld within ECOWAS, it is our duty to provide the support as requested by the government of the Republic of Benin. While it is my hope that the Senate will consider and approve this request expeditiously, please accept, distinguished Senate President, distinguished senators, the assurances of my highest consideration and personal regards. Yours sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This request for consent is committed to the Committee of the Whole for immediate action.
The move was presented as a military intervention in defense of constitutional order. But the reality on the ground tells a different story. Many in Benin, both civilians and within parts of the military, are not in support of this foreign military presence. Tensions are rising, and people are asking, is this really about peace or something else? While Nigeria was mobilizing troops, a stunning revelation emerged from Burkina Faso. Reports suggest a French surveillance aircraft operating under Nigerian clearance was captured by the Sahel Alliance. The aircraft was allegedly collecting intelligence, not just on terrorist movements, but on internal military positions and communications within the alliance. This bombshell has only intensified suspicions of French involvement behind the scenes, using Nigeria as a proxy to push its influence deeper into West Africa. Is Paris waiting for the right moment to jump back into the region through the back door? But this time, the Sahel isn't backing down. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have united in an unprecedented alliance, one based on shared defense, economic cooperation, and freedom from external control. Together, they've declared any military intervention in one country is a threat to them all. It's a bold stand that many across the continent are calling a new Pan-African resistance, one that puts African interests before foreign agendas. They're not just rejecting ECOWAS, they're redefining African power. This isn't just a political standoff. It's a symbol of a deeper shift happening across Africa. More and more people are waking up to the games being played, the neo-colonial influence, the hidden deals, the divide and rule tactics. And they're demanding accountability, unity, and freedom. The Sahel Alliance may be small in numbers, but their voice is echoing across the continent. They're reminding us that Africa does not need permission to protect its own interests. The future of Africa is being written right now. Will we stand divided and manipulated, or will we stand united, bold and free?
Yeah, Africa is at a crossroad. Family, brothers and sisters, Nigerian President Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has received Senate approval to deploy troops in Benin. This comes a few hours later after a Nigerian aircraft seized and detained in Burkina Faso for violating Burkinabe airspace. Burkina Faso and the Alliance of Sahel States vow to neutralize any threats from ECOWAS and Nigeria. Nigeria has clarified that that plane or aircraft was on a route to Europe. So, due to the emergency, they have decided to land in Bobo Dulaso. Those are words from Nigeria. But family, brothers and sisters, let us look very deep into the decision of Nigeria to deploy troops in Benin, because some Benin people are rejecting Nigeria to deploy troops. What if citizens, some of them, and soldiers will join together and fight back troops deployed in Benin by Nigeria and ECOWAS? What will happen? Are we going to see the war between Nigeria and Benin? Are we going to see the war between ECOWAS and Benin? And what if Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso will support coup leader in Benin? What will happen? So I see Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu bringing the war into the soil of West Africa. And this will be one of bad escalation in the continent of Africa. So, of course, Nigerian president said, President Patrice Talon of Benin requested support from Nigeria. But now Nigeria has decided to deploy troops in Benin. So we don't know how long it will take, but that's the decision. The fear is if citizens and some soldiers will resist and fight back the troops sent by Nigeria and ECOWAS, what will happen? That is my fear. So we will see war between Nigeria and Benin, or will be the war between ECOWAS through Nigeria and Benin. As I said, what if Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger will join by supporting coup leader in Benin? What will happen? What will happen? And why Nigeria has deployed troops even before the approval of the Senate? If it's about Senate, why Nigeria deployed? So we are at a crossroad. We are at a crossroad, and as Africans, we need to sit down, especially to our leaders, to find the best way. Because if people don't want a president, there's no way, even if you can deploy troops, there's no way you can put love in the hearts of millions of people who are suffering because of that leader. So it means President Talon will be there under the guidance of Nigeria. So it means Benin will be the state of Nigeria because they will be under control of Nigerian military. Don't we see this is another kind of invasion? And for which interest? Nigeria is saying they are defending democracy. Which democracy Nigeria is defending? Which democracy Nigeria is defending? If majority said enough is enough. But we know Even this plane that was seized in Burkina Faso, some said the plane was spying in the region of the Alliance of Sahel States. We know President Tinubu is best friend of Macron. We know Macron is the enemy of the Alliance of Sahel States. So there's some information saying that that plane was spying the Alliance of Sahel States before Nigerian sending troops to Benin. There's a fear that the Alliance of Sahel States will support coup leader. So Nigerian plane went there to spy and to see what is going on. And this was France backing mission. We are waiting for more information about that claim, but we know that France is working very closely with some West African countries. Let us ask ourselves, when troops and the military bases in Mali, Niger, French military bases in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso closed, where those soldiers went? We didn't see those soldiers arrived in France, in Paris, welcomed back home. It means they were relocated. They are within this continent. Some said they went to Benin, others said went to Nigeria. And recently you have seen President Macron telling Nigerian president that France is ready to support Nigeria to fight terrorism. If Nigeria has capacity to deploy troops in Benin, why don't Nigeria deploy force to fight terrorism? And I've been asking this question since ECOWAS and Nigeria, as the chair of ECOWAS, threatened to invade Niger militarily. When Mali, Burkina Faso stood up and said, if you touch one of us, you are touching all of us. And since then, ECOWAS stopped, and these countries withdrawn from ECOWAS. And the fear was for Benin to withdraw also from ECOWAS. If military leader has to take power in Benin, they have to withdraw Benin from ECOWAS. And that's why you see ECOWAS Nigeria is using power to make sure that President Talon is remain in power. They're retaining their member. So you can see how things is going on. But Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they have said, if you violate, we are going to shut down your plane. So any plane that will cross the space of the Alliance of Sahel States will be shut down. So I see like Nigeria is being used by France to find the reason to enter into war between Nigeria and ECOWAS and the Alliance of Sahel States. And if it's true, we are going to see the war between France and Russia, because we know that President Traore, Goita, and Chan are best friends of President Putin. And these, the rest in West Africa, they're looking for the West. They have the best of France. So if we are not careful, we are going to see also the war between France and Russia in African soil. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. Tinubu, if we don't be told what he's doing is not okay, he will put Africa into conflict and into war. We have to tell President Tinubu, democracy is not defended by military or by deploying troops. How can we say democracy is defended by fighting? Are we fighting to put people into power, or people are choosing people whom they want, whether through power or through maybe through ballots? But right now we see ECOWAS forcing, using power to bring people or to bring leader that ECOWAS want, not the leader that people want, because we know elections in Africa is it's a joke. It's a joke. I'm sure if today we go into the pool without stealing votes, these leaders whom you see they are in power, all of them, none of them will be in power because they came to power through stealing of votes. We know. System in Africa, we know our systems. But look the power of unity. These countries, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they came together and shown solidarity. That's the power of unity. If our leaders can see what is happening in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso as an example, coming together, save the interest of majority, not saving the interest of the West, saving the interest of majority, I'm sure Africa will not be in the place where Africa it is today. We are in this position because of this unity. So family, brothers and sisters, let us not speak for too long. Let me give you opportunity to share your thoughts, ideas through the comment section, how we can solve this crisis. What do you see in the near future? Thank you. Have a nice day.